Hello. Hello, people. How is everyone? I'm just going to wait till a few people get in the room. Well, there's actually loads of people in the room. Someone basically asked me about how the march was that I went on yesterday. Yeah, it was yesterday. With the Extinction Rebellion, who are a new group causing civil disobedience until or in response to our government's inaction on climate change. And it was a very, very good march. We walked to Buckingham Palace and we read a declaration to the Queen. And the flag was up, so I think she was in. Is that... I should probably check. That's right, isn't it? Buckingham Palace flag up. Flag up. The royal standard is flown as royal residences only when the sovereign is present. So yeah, hopefully she was in. And I would like to read the declaration that we read because I think it's brilliant and it encompasses everything that I feel strongly about. And I'm hopeful that these words resonate with you, which I'm sure they will do, and that you can spread them, find out more about the Extinction Rebellion online. I think they're a really, really good group, and I found them really inspiring, especially their willingness to get arrested. They're totally... even the point is to get arrested. Apparently, the more people get arrested, the harder it is for politicians to ignore it. So their commitment to spending time in prison is admirable. And it was really powerful to read this thing out loud. So the way we did that call and response thing, so someone read little sections of it on a microphone, and then we all called it back. And there we go. As I was saying, to hear that sound echo off Buckingham Palace, thousands of voices, was very powerful. So I'm going to read the declaration to you now. It starts with a quote by John Locke. "To love truth for truth's sake is the principal part of human perfection in this world, and the seed plot of all other virtues." Here we go. "We hold the following to be true. This is our darkest hour. Humanity finds itself embroiled in an event unprecedented in its history, one which, unless immediately addressed, will catapult us further into the destruction of all that we hold dear, this nation, its peoples, our ecosystems, and the future of generations to come. The science is clear. We are in the 6th mass extinction event, and we will face catastrophe if we do not act swiftly and robustly. Biodiversity is being annihilated around the world. Our seas are poisoned, acidic, and rising. Flooding and desertification will render vast tracts of land uninhabitable and lead to mass migration. Our air is so toxic that the United Kingdom is breaking the law. It harms the unborn whilst causing tens of thousands to die. The breakdown of our climate has begun. There will be more wildfires, unpredictable superstorms, increasing famine, and untold drought as food supplies and fresh water disappear. The ecological crisis that are impacting upon this nation, and indeed this planet and its wildlife, can no longer be ignored, denied, nor go unanswered by any beings of sound rational thought, ethical conscience, moral concern, or spiritual belief. In accordance with these values, the virtues of truth, and the weight of scientific evidence, we declare it our duty to act on behalf of the security and well-being of our children, our communities, and the future of our planet, of the planet itself. We, in alignment with our consciences and our reasoning, declare ourselves in rebellion against our government and the corrupted, inept institutions that threaten our future. The willful complicity displayed by our government has shattered meaningful democracy and cast aside the common interest in favour of short-term gain and private profits. When government and the law fail to provide any assurance of adequate protection, as well as security for its people's well-being and the nation's future, it becomes the right of its citizens to seek redress in order to restore dutiful democracy and to secure the solutions needed to avert catastrophe and protect the future. It becomes not only our right, it becomes our sacred duty to rebel. We hereby declare the bonds of the social contract to be null and void, which the government has rendered invalid by its continuing failure to act appropriately. We call upon every principled and peaceful citizen, as you, to rise with us. We demand to be heard, to apply informed solutions to these ecological crises, and to create a national assembly by which to initiate the solutions needed to change our present cataclysmic course. We refuse to bequeath a dying planet to future generations by failing to act now. We act in peace with ferocious love of these lands in our hearts. We act on behalf of life. I think that's pretty good, and it pretty much sums up everything that's important with this issue. And I hope that those words resonated with you. I think that it's very, very succinct and well written and powerful, and something that we can all get on board with. And I just think these guys are great, and they're going to continue doing acts of civil disobedience. They're blocking bridges, gluing themselves to buildings, spray painting things on walls, getting themselves arrested, and generally making themselves heard, and making it so that the government has no choice but to respond to them. And hopefully that this will grow globally, and hopefully it'll be an inspiration to start grassroots versions of this. I mean, I don't know if this is already happening, but it might be happening that smaller groups are starting all over the world. But it's so important. Our governments aren't doing enough. We can do as much as we can as individuals, but it's not enough. We need policy to change. So, yeah. If people should follow them online, Extinction Rebellion, they have a page called rebellion.earth where you can donate to their campaign to keep them running, which I'm going to do because I think they're in definite support of the money. Give them a Christmas present. What are your thoughts? What are people saying? Where is this declaration posted? Yeah, so it's on their website. You can read it for yourself. It's rebellion.earth. I'm on my laptop, so I'm being a bit, not looking at the screen. Rebellion.earth, and on the side page there's a bit that says declaration, and that declaration is the thing that I just read. Read it yourself, print it off, share it with other people. I think it's kind of unarguable, you know. I had this weird argument with someone on the street who was watching the march go past. And he was going, yeah, well, you know, I believe climate change is happening, but I don't believe that it's caused by humans. I just think, really? Are you sure about that? Really? Are you really, really, really sure? Because if I'm wrong, if we're wrong, all that's going to happen is that we're going to have cleaner energy, less pollution, less oil spills, less ecological destruction. And if you're wrong, we're fucked. Is that a risk that you're willing to take? I mean, that's what I don't understand about climate deniers. It's like, is that a risk that you're really willing to take? When you've got one graph that's going like this, whoosh, in terms of how much carbon we're producing globally, and another graph that's going like this, whoosh, global temperatures rising, and the correlation between them is so clear. I mean, I can't believe that we're still having to debate it. Do we really want to keep burning the dinosaur bones in underground? I mean, we can move forward. We can be so much better than this. So yeah, I mean, I don't want to get too preachy about it, but which I tend to do. But so it's just something I feel very strongly about. And it ties in with all our other issues, you know, about the unavoidable refugee crisis. There's going to be massive amounts of people on the move. How we respond to that? Are we going to be better humans and take care of these people? I mean, and also how we interact with our environment. I mean, we've destroyed so much of it already. It's so depressing. Don't want to live in a world that is annihilating nature at a rate that just feels like we've got a vein open or something. We're bleeding to death. It just feels so urgent, and we need to deal with it. So that's why I think these guys are. I really admire their tenacity and just perseverance every day, blocking bridges. And Nigel Farage said something about, you know, well, like they're economic terrorists. Just saying, no, this is so important. And they're not blocking. If an ambulance needs to get through a bridge, they'll let them through. No one's going to, you know, die over this. Just need to be heard. So I love everyone's support on this. If you feel strongly about this, just share it in any way that you can and get involved. Get involved, because going on marches just feels so good. It's not the end be all and end all, because if we just went on marches, nothing would ever get done. But it is a powerful way for your voice to be heard. Also, you guys who support RAIN, you have the power when you want to globally trend on Twitter, to be the #1 talked about thing in the world on Twitter. That's such a powerful ability when you all get together and rally behind a cause. You rally around this television show that you love, but if you did it about another issue, you have amazing power when you work together. So yeah. Does anyone in here know how to save this video permanently? Can anyone say yes to that? Does anyone know how to do that? Save this video and then send it to me somehow, on Twitter. Can you do that? Who can do that? Someone said yes. That would be really useful, because otherwise it would just be a video for an hour. Not an hour. It will be online for a day. Okay, someone says they're recording right now. Does that mean you've got the whole thing? Who are you? Celia Boutang. Do you have this video? Okay. Sorry, I've got a cold slightly. I'm a bit sniffly. What else can I say? That's pretty much it. We walked from Parliament Square to Buckingham Palace, and people laid wreaths for all of the animals that have gone extinct at the gates of Buckingham Palace in silence. It was very powerful. What's that say? I can save the video when you finish. Oh, cool. Well, then that's fine. I might go offline and then come back on, so I've got 2 different streams. Otherwise, this will just go on forever.